Hello guys, and welcome to another episode of Toy Reviews, and for this episode we are doing Transformers Energon Megatron. Now, I haven't made a toy review video in a while, but this will probably be one of my last, at least in the Transformers series, since we've pretty much gone through every Transformer, except for those that I'm currently trying to restore, but those are so broken that they won't be able to make it through a review. But as for now, this will be one of the last toy review videos. But here we have Megatron from the Energon show. Now, I'm actually gonna remove this top piece, but as you can see, he transforms into sort of a future-looking jet, and he has a couple of landing gears underneath that are supposed to roll on the ground, but because of this little thing in the front, it often just tips forward. So, well, let's just put those back in. There we go. So, as you can see, he transforms into a futuristic looking jet. Unfortunately, the hard plastic on this one is a little bit bent, opposed from the other side, which is straightened out, but that doesn't really do much, so it's okay. Yeah, I like the design. I like how the colors are neatly spread out. I think they're pretty awesome. Since Megatron dies at the end of the Armada series, he is reborn into this form in the Energon series. So he takes a lot of traits from Unicron, since he is rebirthed inside of Unicron. And yeah, I guess that's a pretty cool thought. I don't know if the designers thought of it that way, but to me it sure seems like it. But in my opinion, this is probably where Megatron started to go in the jet direction, as he started out as a tank in the beginning of the Unicron trilogy, and here he goes into a jet mode. And at in the Cybertron series, he has a jet and a car mode. So yeah, I like him being able to transform into a cool-looking jet. Now, the transformation. Wait, he actually comes with this little tank, which is supposed to be a miniaturized version of his Armada transformation. This guy can't transform at all, he's just a tank. He isn't even a character, he's a fucking tool. Yeah, it's just a tank that fucking follows him around and shit. So yeah, we'll get to this later. As for his transformation, it's fairly simple. And here we have Megatron. This guy was the first mold. This is the original mold for Megatron, and he is very big for a Transformer of this series. As for Energon Optimus Prime, who is a fucking horrible figure, by the way, he is about this tall. So he is about 2 head lengths taller, plus these massive cannons on his on top of his shoulders, which have articulation, so you can bend these forward and blast the fuck out of people. So yeah. Oh yeah, he has his hyper mode, which was developed to combat the combination abilities of the Autobots, where you simply just bend this over, which deploys an extra set of guns on the side here. This can be used in his aircraft mode as well, but yeah, it just adds a little bit more style of green to his atmosphere, and a lot more thingies come out of him. So yeah, I suppose I don't mind it, but he looks a lot more imposing in his hyper mode. But to me, it's just unnecessary information. It was a desperate attempt to try and fight the combination abilities of the Autobots, so they just developed the hyper mode just to add something cool to the Decepticons. But moving on to his tank. This has some gimmicks inside of it. Unfortunately, I lost a missile in this thing, but it shoots quite far. It's kind of powerful, and it has a sound effect for it. Yeah, so not a subtle one indeed. This is meant to... It has a little port underneath that can be opened up, and is meant to be attached onto Megatron's gauntlets. So he has a fucking tank as a gauntlet blaster, which is very cool. Inside of his nose, or well, the back of the figure, he has a little socket, which can then be, you have a little button on the back, and unfortunately the thing doesn't pop out. You have to sort of tip it, and yeah, it gets stuck sometimes. But in there we have his Energon blade, which is often referred to as the Star Saber on the show. And for those who are into Transformers, we all know this isn't the Star Saber. The writers are high on cocaine. So what you can do with this blade is that you can take the back of the tank and then attach it, and a little sound effect comes out. There we go. So now you have the blade on this side and the tank cannon on the other side, and you can choose what side you want to attach onto Megatron's arm. So if you want to, you can either have a tank as a cannon on his arm, or a fucking sword that comes out of the same tank. There we go. Originally on the show he had an actual sword, and then he upgraded it to fit inside of his tank. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for Megatron. I love this mold. I think it's very, very cool. He got a repaint later on in the show where he turned purple and all, and his green details turned yellow. Sort of reminiscent to the Galvatron from the 80s movie and the 3rd and 4th season of G1 series. Now, I like that design. I prefer this one though, but the thing about it is that, as I said earlier, the colors are very nice distributed. He has very Unicron-esque feeling to him, since he was recreated inside of Unicron. I like the sort of abs, which is very reminiscent to Unicron. I like his gauntlets. They are very Unicron-esque like, and a very big imposing feet. A bad thing about this figure though is that it can't pose for shit. He has ratchet joints inside of his legs because he needs them for his transformation, but the best you can do when it comes to posability is basically something like this. Yeah, he can't really pose at all. If you want to have like a kick pose, this is the best you can do. So posability, no, this guy doesn't have it. He suffers from Armada syndrome, unfortunately. But if you want to add this guy to your collection, I say definitely go for it. He looks awesome on the shelf. So yeah, that's it for Energon Megatron. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.